Alright, so you've already seen me use a file on this thing to square one side, but which side did I square? I kind of forget. Well, I better take my square and double check. That side looks really square. That side does not. Okay, so it's this side right here that's square. And the next thing I want to do is take a hammer and a chisel or a punch or something and identify the corner that is my XZ0 right here. You'll notice there's a little black mark right here. That marks for me already punching this part. When we punch, we make sure that we use a hammer and a punch. That one there's a center punch. It's at an almost 90-degree angle. It's nice and sharp. It's going to do a fine job. But when I tap on something, I want to make sure that I'm not tapping on a granite block because it's going to damage the block. And I'm not tapping on the back side of a vise because it's going to break the vise. I want to find a steel plate. Follow me? Like this one right here. That's nice and safe to tap on and isn't going to do damage to anything. Now I don't hit the plate. We don't leave marks in it. We're going to just leave a little mark on our part. Right there. You want to see me do it? I'll do it again. That's all there is to it. Now, that's my witness mark that says that's where I'm going to start measuring from every day. Next thing I want to do is apply bluing. I have a bluing station that is on the west wall of the shop. It's red. It looks like a Varsol bin. For people that are going to make a mess, which I know some of you are, it's a good idea to do this job over there, but I've done this a bazillion times before, so I'm going to just make sure that there is no extra bluing on my brush. I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to gently paint my part. There we go. What's the bluing for? It's to make it so that my layout lines are visible. We want to be able to see them. Now the next thing I want to talk about is all the XZ coordinates that we have to meet. There's a hole here, 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 two here, this one. There's this angle that we have to deal with, and a hole here. And there's a little hidden hole that nobody can see right there. Right there. That's this radius. If we leave a mark there, the file can't get it out again. So what we're going to do is take a little piece of Scotch tape and put it right here. We're going to take another piece of Scotch tape, put it right here, just for practice. And we're going to scribe the line that goes around this radius and beyond a little bit, and this radius here and beyond a little bit, so that we can join the two on this straight line. Right? So why is the tape here? So that we don't leave a mark in our part that doesn't come out again. Pause it. It was brought to my attention that it might be kind of hard for you to fathom what's going on by looking at a flat piece of steel. So I brought a drill gauge that's 80% complete. It doesn't have any writing on it. It hasn't had holes tapped in it. It doesn't have any indications on here as to the length of the land on the drill bit. But this is the part that you're going to be making. If I hold this on here, you can see that the piece of steel that I cut is slightly larger than the piece we're going to have at the end. Make sure you measure your part before we go any further, because if it's too short, your drill gauge project is going to be a little bit short. Bring it to your teacher's attention. He will amend your blueprint right now for the length of your part so that we don't have to waste steel in cutting a new piece. Okay, everybody should understand that. There are no sharp edges on my part. Whoops! Except that one that I just dropped. So, next I'm going to lay out all the lines that I need in order to make that part, and I'm going to get you to follow me into the classroom area to do that. Okay, so the next part of the project, as I just said, is laying out from our XZ0 areas. And we're going to measure height. This tool is a vernier height gauge. It has measurements on it at 50 thousandths of an inch apart. In order to divide those 50 thousandths into smaller increments, we have a scale on here. It'll divide it into 1 thou increments. 1 thou is 1/4 of the thickness of a hair. Okay? You need to read the chapter that covers this in Technology of Machine Tools, your textbook. If you haven't purchased it yet, you're kind of dead in the water right now. We just can't do this project. You must read the material before you do it. What I'm going to do is set this so that my little divot that I made is in the corner and straight up. My part is standing straight up. I can use an angle plate. I can use a 1, 2, 3 block. I'm using the 1, 2, 3 block because it's magnetized and it's easy. I can now read from a 0 reading here up at 1/1000th of an inch increments for whatever height I'm looking for. I have to convert all of the readings here and here. We've got to convert them into decimal. So if it says 9/16, we divide 9 by 16 and it gives us a 0.562 if I'm thinking correctly. Okay? So you need to do that right now. You need to convert all of these fractions into decimals because that's how this machine works. It does not read fractionally. All right?